Hi Math 1 students, this is Mr. Fukao, your math teacher. I really miss you all. I hope you guys are doing okay. I know some of you are probably at home or elsewhere. Just know that I'm thinking of you all, and I really wish that you were here in the classroom with me. But it's okay. It's okay. It's going to be all right. So we're going to go into a new unit called Exponents. We're talking about two specific rules today. So every day you're going to have a video like this, just so that we can keep on learning. And as you guys know, all of your assignments, oh, by the way, please check your email because I sent an email to you and your parents. Our next Alex deadline is going to be this Friday, Friday the 20th, and you have 7 topics. And this morning I logged into Alex and I noticed that a lot of you have already completed a lot of those topics. But also remember, for homework, I want you to complete the knowledge check by Wednesday. Okay? And I see a lot of you have already started on that. But try to finish that as soon as possible, okay? So what exactly is an exponent here? An exponent is when you have any quantity. Okay, let's just say a number. Let's use the letter n, right? If we have an n and say we square it, right? You guys know another word that we use for that square is the word power. So what this actually means is simply n times n. Okay, there's 2 n's, right? Now remember, this is not the same as 2n. What that means is n times 2. If you're talking about 2 n's, you would write it this way. 2 n's, this is 2 times n. Okay, so this equals 2 times n. So these are not the same. Well, you guys know, we've done this many times in class, right? You have an exponent or power. This is called, you call this 3 squared, or you can say 3 to the power of 2. What this means is 3 times 3, which you all know is 9. Okay. Well, let's try another one. What if we had 2 cubed this time? 2 cubed, right? That's not 2 times 3. Some of you are going to tell me 6, right? And that's just going to make me cringe. What this means is 2 times 2 times 2, which is 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. That's what an exponent is. You got this, right? You can do it. So I'm going to just take you through a few examples. Well, the first thing we have is something called the product rule. Again, you have 3 rules that you're going to learn this week. This is the first one. And I think the best way to do this is with examples. Let's say we had x squared times x cubed. Okay? Now remember, this x squared, what that means is x, right? It's x times x times, there's 3 x's right here. So it's x, x, x. So now the total, there's 2 right here, there's 3 right there, so this would be x to the 5th power. Okay, let's try another one. So you can do this with any variable. Let's just use b. So b times b to the 2nd power. Now when you have a b by itself, there's an imaginary 1 right here. Okay, let me highlight that. So this imaginary 1, what that means is going to be b times a b and a b. So how many total b's do you have? You have b cubed. So same thing, let's try 2 variables. Let's try an x squared times b to the 4th times x cubed times b to the 7th. So now you can keep writing these out like we did in these first 2 examples, but I think you may have figured something out. Look at this right here. What this is saying is this is simply 1 plus 2, and that's going to give us 3. What this is saying right here is simply 2 plus 3 is going to equal to 5. So now if we look at these 2 right here, the x squared and the x cubed, you guys know what 2 plus 3 is, right? And the same thing with the b variables. the 4 plus the 7, it's going to be 4 plus 7. So when you multiply, you always add. So it's going to be x to the 5th times b to the 11th. Okay? So the rule here is that you add the exponents when multiplying. Okay? Since we're multiplying here, we're multiplying here, we're multiplying here, this is always going to be addition, like that. Got that? Feel free to pause this video anytime so you can take a closer look at it. Now let me introduce you to some more. Now what if we have 3 to the 3 times n squared times 4 n to the 5th power? Okay. Now this 3 times the 4, it's going to be very tempting to add these numbers. But what we're doing is actually multiplying, right? Because what if these weren't here? What if I cross these out? It's simply 3 times 4. And come on, guys, you all know what 3 times 4 is, right? So that's simply going to be 12. And then the n squared plus the 5, our final answer is going to be 12n to the 7th power. Okay, just like that. Now, how about you try this one on your own, okay? I wish we could make this a come on down, but you can't come on down. Let's try 4n to the 5th power times 8n to the 2nd power. Oh, that's too easy for you. Times 2n. Okay. So go ahead and pause the video and answer that. Now that you've unpaused, you're going to multiply the 4 times the 8 times the 2. So class, what is 4 times 8? That's 32. 32 times 2 is 64. Okay? Now look at all the n's here. We have 5 right here. We have 2, and how many n's right here? Please don't say 0. This is not 0. This is in fact 1. Okay? So 5 plus 2 is 7. 7 plus 1 is 8. So n to the 8th power. And this also works with negative exponents. If you had 3n to the negative 4 times 5n to the 10, you're going to multiply the 3 times 5, which is 15. And now the n, you're going to add these. Negative 4 plus 10, which is 6, just like that. Okay, can you guys handle that? So that's what we call the product rule. Good job, guys. The next rule we're going to call the power rule. Okay? So for the power rule, what this says is if you have anything where you have a 3 to the n squared and then you put a number out here, outside the parentheses, you're going to apply this power to the 3 and to the n squared. So actually what's happening is now you have 3 squared, and then right here, what that means, it's going to be n to the 4th. Now this one's a little confusing because you're thinking, did I add those or did I multiply them? Because it's actually the same. So let me try another example. Okay. Let's try 5 to the, let's try a different variable. Let's try p cubed, and then we're going to square it right there. So the same thing, you're going to square the 5, okay, and it's going to be p 3 times 2. You multiply these right here, so it's going to come out to 25 p to the 6th power. Okay, so you're going to apply the power. Apply the power. Okay, so let's try another example. Parentheses, let's do 4n p squared to the 5th power. Okay. So you're going to do 4 to the 5th power, And then remember there's a 1 right here. There's an invisible 1 right there. So it's n 1 times the 5, and then p 2 times the 5. So what in the world is, I have no idea what that is. 4 to the 5th power. Okay. 1024. I bet some of you knew that. N to the 5th power, p to the 10th power. And ta-da, just like that. Okay. So I'm going to just try one more before I give you a challenge type of question. Let's do it with a negative. So negative 3n to the negative 2 times y to the negative 1. And then we're going to do... Nah, we won't do this. Let me save this actually. I'm sorry about that. Let's do our challenge one right now actually. Okay. So parentheses negative 3x cubed y z to the 2nd power times 2x to the 4th y squared z to the 2nd power cubed. Oh man, can you handle that? Let's try it. So you're gonna apply that power here, 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 and here. You apply the power here, 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 and here. Okay? So let's do negative 3 squared. Negative 3 times negative 3 is 9. Remember, you're gonna multiply these now. So 3 times 2 is 6. There's an invisible 1 right here. So it's going to be y squared, z squared, okay, times 2 cubed. Please don't say that's 6. That's 2 times 2 times 2, which is 8. X to the 12, y to the 6, z to the 6. Okay? Now, we're going to go back to our old friend, the product rule. Remember, we just did this one earlier, right? Whenever you're multiplying like variables, you add the exponents. So the 9 times 8, you multiply that, it's going to be 72. Now x to the 6th times x to the 12th, we're going to add those, so it'll be x to the 18th. Z squared times, y squared times y to the 6th power is going to be y to the 8th power. And then same thing right here, z to the 2nd power, z to the 6th power is going to be z to the 8th power. And ta-da. Oops. All right, so that's the end of the lesson for today. I will see you tomorrow. Take care. Stay dry.